are going to start by taping off our cold press watercolor paper into 4 sections. I've then grabbed the KURETAKE, the Art Nouveau. I've got the flat beige here and a large flat brush, applying all the paint onto that page, making sure it's all covered. I've then let the page dry. I've got this thinner tape, though you could use thicker tape, it doesn't really matter the size of tape that you've got. And I'm just making these triangle shapes into these squares, making sure that the tape is securely stuck down onto the page and just ripping it off there at the bottom as I go into the corners. So I'm not being precious about it. They're not completely perfect, and that's fine. And I've gone back into the KURETAKE colours. I've got the Potter's Pink here, and I'm just adding some lines across in between those two triangle kind of marks there, and just adding lines here and there. Whatever pops into my head, I'm just getting it down onto the page. So I'm just going to grab some more colour, and I've got the alizarin crimson. You can see the colours merging into one another, and it gives a lovely effect on your page. And just adding some more stripes, going in for a pale pink there, and adding some more lines wherever there is a bit of a gap. So I'm going to fill up the page full of these lovely lines, and once they're all full, then I'm going to let that paint dry. You can use any watercolour paints you have, you don't have to use these, any will do. So I've waited for that to dry, and I've grabbed some pens. I've got a Uniball silver and a Uniball gold pen here, and I'm imagining little trinkets on a Christmas tree, just putting little lines, little baubles, anything that pops into my head. I want all the Christmas trees to look slightly different from each other, but they've obviously got that background theme of the same colours, and I'm using the same colour pens on them, just adding some baubles, some little lines, whatever pops into your mind. Just get it down onto the page and just have a lovely time. So once I've used my lovely gold and silver pens, I've also got a copper Uniball pen there, so I've added that as an additional. I've then grabbed a white Posca pen, and I'm imagining little lights all sprinkled all over my Christmas tree, and just adding them wherever I feel is going to be the best place for them. So some little lines, some little dots, just having them scattered all over these, and just making some lovely little patterns. If you haven't got these colour pens, don't worry, just use what you have. If you haven't got pens, you could use pencils, whatever you've got to hand. This is just about having a little bit of fun and enjoying yourself. So I hope you like this, and if you like this, maybe you'll like, maybe you'll subscribe, maybe you leave me a comment. I would love to hear whether you're going to do this. It would be really fab to hear from you. So I've got another piece of cold press watercolour paper, and I've just painted that with the flax beige again. And now I'm just grabbing, I've got a silicone tool here, and the paint is still wet, the base colour is still wet, and I'm just adding this paint on with this silicone tool. You could use a palette knife, that would be very similar. The good thing about the silicone tool is that it is flexible, so it does bend as you're pushing it across the page. You're less likely to rip the page, and also you can drag it across quite easily. You could use watercolour pencils, that would look really good and would give a similar effect, because the colour from the pencils would spread and make similar marks as we're putting here. And then I'm pushing it down onto the page and adding these more bolder marks there. So wherever I feel, and just getting that paint onto the page until I'm quite happy with that. I've also got a members page, and there is a join button just below this video. You could have a look at that and see whether you'd like to join. There are members only videos and also members first videos, and I'd love to see you on that page. So I've grabbed the Christmas tree shapes, and I'd made loads of these because they were for fronts of cards, and I've got some left over. So I thought, well, what can I do with my leftover ones? And I thought, let's cut them out, get my Mod Podge, and get my lovely background, and stick these Christmas trees down onto the page. So just adding them onto the page, just sticking them down randomly, whatever pops into my mind. I'm thinking I'll just put it there on top of one another and then making sure that they're all stuck down. With this glue, you've got about a minute to move things around. After that, it will stick onto your page, and if you try and move it, it will rip. So sort of maybe plan it out before you're going to stick it down. And then I've put some white on. I've waited about half an hour, and there I have that lovely result. And I've grabbed a felt tip pen. This is a Staedtler gold pen, and I'm just adding the bottoms on there, and I'm just going to outline the trees, just give them some definition against the background and against one another so you can see the individual trees. Once I'd done that, I thought, wow, I'd like some little baubles, so I've got some gold ink. This is acrylic ink, and it's got like a little dropper on it, and I'm just adding these little bauble shapes on there. And then I've got the gold pen, and I'm adding some little lines. So this is the string, and it's hanging from the top of the page. Once I've finished that, I've then grabbed a gel pen in a lovely colour, and I'm just putting some ribbony kind of bows on there and outlining the baubles just to make them a little bit prominent, because I thought, well, you couldn't really see them against that background very well. So I just wanted to make them look a little bit more pronounced, and also the line that's coming down, I wanted it to look a little bit more rope-like. So I'm sort of like dashing the pen onto that line there. So just going across the page and just adding all the little detail there. You can see it here in a bit more detail, and just dashing again just so you can see those lines coming down. And then once I've done that, I've heated up the tape, and I'm just pulling it off very gently so that I can reveal the lovely picture. And then I'm going to pull it up so you can see the really nice detail. And I love that background. I think it's worked really, really well. I was really pleased when it dried and it left all those lovely marks. I thought that looks really nice. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would love to hear whether you're going to try this, what colours you use. It would be lovely. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again soon. Bye.